Well, hello, Christy. How are you?
I'm
I
good. How
hope
are you?
I'm great. I hope everything is going well. Well, what we're meeting on is our my standard video of standards 1 through 3, and my lesson plan was on opinion piece writing, and so I would really like your feedback as to think my grows and my glows of the teaching lesson.
Yep.
So,
So I thought it was a great lesson. Opinion writing is hard for these babies because their opinion is fact.
right.
So just getting them to understand fact and opinion, and then to try to dig deeper into their opinion.
Okay.
Not because I like it or because it's like really like a good solid reason why.
Okay.
And again, clear expectations. You clearly have that piece and that rapport with them, and the stop and
Okay.
give me 5, get back together, I need you
Right.
back. Like all of that is still evident. So,
Okay.
and obviously you're doing that all the time because they know,
Right,
and
right.
and they react really quickly to all of your cueing.
Okay.
You had the partner talks in there, and there was one point where you asked somebody at the end of the lesson, maybe I think it was, to share their writing,
Right.
and they said no. I don't want to
Right.
share it, and like you validated that that's an okay thing to
Right.
that that's okay. You
Right.
don't have to share your
Exactly.
paper with everybody, and I think that that was great for you to support that opinion of that student, but also for that student to feel comfortable enough to say to you, I don't want to share it.
Right.
Like, I
Okay.
just feel like that just shows what a classroom culture you have.
Okay.
That, every kid's valued in where they
Yeah.
are in that day, because maybe tomorrow she shares or the day
Yeah.
before you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but it's not today.
Okay.
And like you validated that's okay. And I
Right.
think that's very important for kids.
And I went back and I looked and I'm like, well, why doesn't she want to share? Because usually she is a student that really participates. And when I looked at her paper, her writing was in her language. So I don't necessarily think like she wrote it. Things weren't spelled correctly, so she may not knew how to say
Sure.
it the best way.
The best
So
way, in
yes,
English,
in
right.
English, and say it in her native tongue too. So I was because that kind of puzzled me, like why she doesn't want to share,
And
but
that's
it's
a
okay.
valid that's
Right.
that's a good connection.
Right.
And when you were saying that, I was gonna say, and that can be hard for kids in our age,
Okay.
first graders, to understand if they are multilingual. Like, I
Right.
mean, we still have some kids that speak 3 and 4 languages. They can speak that language, they can understand that language, but they don't necessarily understand how to translate it back and forth, right? Like in their
right.
mind, they know what you're saying, but to like understand what translate means is hard for them, right? They can say this in their language, they can say this in English, but
Right.
to understand how to transfer that back and forth can be tricky for them.
Tricky. Okay.
And some of them are not literate in their language. They can speak it, but they can't necessarily write it.
Okay.
sometimes.
And I think that could have been it. So how do you think we should kind of like navigate that piece?
Yeah. I mean, I think with opinion, and this is my opinion, but I think with opinion writing, like your opinion about things, that's who you are. That's
Right.
part of your culture,
culture.
and who you
Ah,
are, right?
okay.
Like I remember
Okay.
one year when we were doing opinion writing, we wrote about if they liked McDonald's. We were working on either or because they were really having a hard time like picking an opinion, so we were trying to like narrow it down for them.
Okay.
So we did McDonald's or Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Well, I have a student that they're vegan,
Oh.
and she had never eaten at a fast food restaurant, so she had never eaten at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. So like, but culturally that was her family, like that's
Right.
they were very healthy. They so I had her to pick a restaurant that they had been to that she could say that why it was her favorite.
Okay.
But like I had to make that adjustment for her. But a lot of times I just think that their opinion, that's who
That's
they
their
are,
culture,
and
that's
it
their
is
tradition.
it is built based on their experiences and
Right.
what they know, right?
Okay.
So I think that kind of pulls their culture into
That's a great point because it doesn't necessarily have to be like pictured. you know, like a picture of someone from Asia or a picture of someone
Right.
from South America. It can really be from who they are and what
are.
their family are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Cool.
I mean, I think that was a fun way that you put that twist in there. But some of them just might not, especially if they were never in school
Right.
in like a native country or and have come here. They
Okay.
may not know how to write or
Okay.
spell. And they could tap it, but a lot of times they have characters instead of letters, or their letters are different, and
Okay.
they don't necessarily, and that
Right.
can cause, you know, they can tap it, maybe the sounds they hear in their language, but the actual spellings are different.
Okay.
Right.
How
But-
do you feel like the flow of the lesson went? Do you feel like I laid out the points, gave instruction well? Do you feel like there's like
I do.
feel like there's any gaps that I need to fill in or that the kids didn't show?
No, I think one thing I wrote, I liked that you reviewed the 5 stars from the writing. And I'm not sure how your writers are. I think about my writers at this point. And as we've added like that second sentence and really like kind
Right.
of holding them to that expectation, some of those mechanics are falling apart.
Yeah.
The capitals, the
Oh,
finger the periods.
That's what I'm saying.
And that happens as they transition to that second sentence. That's completely
Okay,
normal.
that's normal. Okay.
So sometimes I even have them go back and tell those things to a partner again. Like, I know you did it all together.
Right.
But now turn and tell your partner what they are.
Okay.
Like, just so they're like re-emphasizing those
okay.
things that they needed to
Okay.
turn around and do.
Okay.
And I think you did this in your video, but had them turn and talk to their partner about their opinion, like what they were going to write about.
Right.
I think that was maybe
It was in there some like where they talked about like what choices they were
Yes.
making
And
stuff
that's
from
great,
the choice board. Yeah.
because we do so much work of what you say is what you can write. So when they actually spend that time saying, I like chocolate ice cream because it is creamy
Right.
and tastes good with marshmallow, whatever, right? When they're actually saying that out loud, it helps them to then transfer it on paper versus
Okay.
just all doing the work in their head.
Okay.
So I think that that's an important piece, and I think you do have that. And I was just gonna say, like, keep doing that when they're
Okay.
writing, because I really think having them actually verbalize what they're gonna say, and then like if it doesn't make sense, their current partner could be like, "What are you talking
talking
about?"
about-
So
okay.
then they can, okay, like let me say it a different way, and then that's what I can write.
Okay.
But for the little ones, I think that really is helpful for them.
Okay. Okay.
But that was really it. I feel like you do a lot of the turn-in talks. And I like how you allowed some of them to draw instead of write.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's modifications for some of
Yes.
your
Right.
kids with special needs,
Yes.
IEPs and things. And you could encourage them after they draw to try and write. Can you tell
Okay.
me what this is? What was your opinion? Chocolate, vanilla. Try to write that
Okay.
and see if they can
Pull
start
from
to
that
pull
picture.
some letter sounds, even if it's
okay.
just a word to
Yes.
label their opinion.
That's a great idea.
But
Yeah.
try to get them to like start to move towards words.
So picture then words. Okay. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, but I think
right.
it was a great lesson.
Okay.
Good job.
All right. Thank you.